Mercenary King here with Hyakki Vogue for the TCB. Yeah, this is my third deck profile. So, we've got Onifundo as our starter. His ability is pretty common. G-Break 1, Soul Blast 1, return this unit to hand, beginning of main phase, pay the cost. If you look at 3 cards from the top of the deck, search for 1 card, up to 1 called, call it to rear guard, shuffle deck, end of turn, put the unit called by this effect at the bottom of your deck. Yeah, it's fine. What I do is mostly to summon up Manji shooters, Metamorphoxes, kind of, not really Metamorphox, because he's an auto at the beginning of main phase. Dual weapons, mostly, as well as Oboro Keepers, sometimes an Awako Hime, certainly Oniwaka, and sometimes Hyakki. But that's only if I can't get like a full field of them early game, and then return the hand. He's just such a useful card. This deck doesn't use the soul at all, so I feel perfectly fine in doing it. And before you say anything, he uses 1 soul. And that doesn't really count for much these days. Besides that, honestly, I don't want to use too much soul. I would run the Margle Crit Clone on this guy. So, I run 3 draws, 3 Margle Crit Clones, 2 crits, 4 crits, so that's 9 crits, 3 draw, 4 heal. Yeah. Really aggressive build here. I like having a lot of Vanguard pressure, and I do need a little bit of draw, so it helps. So that's what it does. It's just one of those things. I can't really describe it. It's practical. It does heals, it does crits, it does draws. There's not really... Sands don't work as well in this deck as other decks, so I can't really use them here. Shadow Stitch, put this unit in the bottom of the deck. At the end of battle, that your unit attacked a Vanguard. If this unit is boosting and the attack did not hit, you may pay the cost if you choose one of your units plus 5k. Basically, I use him for certain combos. For example, with Awako Hime, if I'm judging the ability right, end of the battle, I think you can use his Shadow Stitch ability for both of them and give something plus 5k and her ability to prevent guard from zeros. However, I won't say anything definite about that. If somebody who knows the rules better than I do could comment and tell me whether, yes, you can use Awako Hime and his abilities at the same time, I'd be grateful. They are both autos. Choose one of your units plus 5k until end of turn. I also use him during turns where I just Hyakki Vogue somebody, or I have cards like Oniwaka. If this, 17k to Vanguard, they drop 10k for not hit. Counterblast 1, send this unit in the bottom of the deck. You can give a column 11k, which is a really good deal for a counterblast and something that would probably return the deck anyway. And then I run 4 Metamorphox. This is an unlocker. I use it to counter Link Choker, and I use it to let Hyakki Vogue's abilities go off. It's pretty good in that way. 1 Stride Enabler, just for the extra stride. Honestly, now that I use Oniwaka, I have not had any sort of problem with striding. So yeah, that's good. I use the G-Guards, G-Perfs, simply because I need a little bit of damage on flip with this deck, especially when it comes to Hyakki and my strides. Then we run Dual Weapon. Retire this unit at Shadow Stitch. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked Vanguard. If it didn't hit, choose one of your grade 1 or grade 3 rear guards. For example, Oniwaka or Hyakki Vogue. Search your deck for 1 card, same name as that unit. Call it to rear guard anywhere, by the way, even over things. At the end of the turn, you put the card called with its effects to the bottom of the deck. He's part of the reason why you can do Homura Raider twice. So basically, you attack something, you hit something like Lake Diver, or you see a combo that's already happening, then you copy it. Then you do it again with another one, or through Lake Diver or something like that. Really, I should be replacing either this Manji Shooter or Metamorphox. Honestly, probably Metamorphox with Lake Divers. If I want to start getting a Homura Raider deck mixed in with the Hyakki Vogue combination. But I think that'd be inefficient compared to, say, Yasui combination, which I have a different focus. But basically, you attack something. Homura Raider can stand as long as there's 3 units at all times that can be put in the bottom of the deck for his ability. Then you shuffle the deck so he restands and attacks again. He's just a really good card in general, though, and I do like him because he makes 15k with Manji Shooter, and nobody wants to let Manji Shooter hit. But guess what? You copy something, you put it here, you use Manji Shooter's ability next, give it plus 5k, it just works. And then it goes back. A lot of very powerful abilities can be played with this deck, especially when I run cards like Oboro Keeper. Choose 2 copies of itself, including itself if you want, and put it in the top of the deck. At the end of turn, you may pay the cost of you search for a grade 3 card. Hyakki, put it into your hand, shuffle deck. That's all I really use them for. I use them to get out Hyakkis, because Hyakkis work off Hyakkis. I don't use the Hyakki ability too much, but they have a stride that's just magnificent. For Owako Hime's, Shadow Stitch. Choose a rearguard boosting this unit, put it at the bottom of the deck. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked a Vanguard. Didn't hit, since it's a 4K, and you're probably boosting it with a 6K, that's probably going to happen. Choose one of your Vanguards, and it gets during the battle of this unit attack. You cannot call grade 0s. Basically, it turns the Vanguard into a Silent Tom, which honestly isn't as terrifying as it once was, especially with G-Guards. I hope you guys all remember that G-Guards were introduced blocking a Silent Tom. Bullshit. It was bullshit, but it was blocking a Silent Tom. Basically, yeah, it turns your Vanguard into a Silent Tom. That works really well when you've got something like a 30k or a 20k or something like that, 21k Hyakki Vogue barreling down your opponents. Not so well in other situations. However, if you do this on Homura Raider first, it keeps the ability until end of turn, so both attacks that Homura Raider puts out, it does. Also, it can be used with Shirabaku Buster to get yourself a drive check or 2 as well, even though Oniwaka is the better, or Hyakki is the better choice. Next, we have Oniwaka, Shadow Stitch, counter +1. In the end of battle, this unit attacked the Vanguard, didn't hit. Choose 2 other units, and they get plus 3k. So basically, you swing from this column, plus 3k, plus 3k. So plus 6k, which could boost something like, let's say, an Oboro Keeper from 15k with a 6k booster into a 21k. And then, of course, you have a Manji Shooter, which brings it into a 26k. You know, you see the combos that are showing up with this. It's a pretty good card. Its the second ability is not really what I use it for. Counterblast 1 when this thing is placed on Vanguard Circle. Pay the cost of you. Look top 5. Look for a Shadow Stitch. Reveal it to your opponent. Put it in your hand. Shuffle deck. I don't like that ability. I don't use it. I only have like 8, 12. Yeah, unless I'm desperate for cards and I haven't seen a Shadow Stitch ability, 16. I'm not going to use his ability. That's, you know, it's just not something I really need to run in this deck. Lastly, we have, but you know, he's a great as a rearguard support. That's the thing. I want him for my rearguard support for my Hyakki stuff. Hyakki, limit break 4, lock 2 rearguards. Choose 3 of your Hyakki Vogue reverses, and those units get plus 10k. Then it also has, and which is pretty good, because you could do it up to twice with Metamorphox. So you run, you know, back row, you lock 2 units, you play a Metamorphox, you unlock 1, you lock 2 more again. So you get 30k columns in the front row. Pretty dangerous, and if you play it early game well enough, it can really mess up an opponent. Or if you skip a stride step for this, it can really mess up an opponent at 5 damage, especially if you got everything set up right. His other ability is pretty good. Okay, just making sure it's still recording. Counterblast 2, when it's placed on Vanguard, pay the cost, search for another Hyakki Vogue, put it here, shuffle deck, at the end of turn return it to hand. It's just a great way to get grade 3s in the hand. I don't have a trouble striding with this deck, even though it's so grade 3 reliant, but it's still pretty damn good. For Homura Raider, Counterblast, I'm going to do his abilities last. 2, choose a face down card, turn it face up. When this unit attacks, this gets minus, if the number of face-up cards are 2 or more, this gets -1 drive check. At the end of the battle, this unit attack the Vanguard. Choose one of your rear guards. If you do 3 of your rear guards, same card name, put it in the bottom of the deck. If you return 3 cards, stand this unit, shuffle your deck. He basically attacks twice, and I like him. This deck doesn't use too many counterblasts that I can't unflip thanks to the G guard and other things. So you know it's pretty good. I run 1 Kyohime simply to get more because she's on hit. Soul Blast 1, copy a unit. It returns the hand at the end of turn rather than return the deck, so I get more Hyakkis in hand. I run 2 Yasui Tenmas. Until in turn this gets Shadow Stitch, Counterblast 1. You battle your unit. By the way, I would run 2. Didn't hit, which is pretty often. If you search your deck for 1 card with the same card name as the unit that attacked, call it to rear guard and shuffle deck. It's just a lot more attacks than there were before. There's no real weakness to this card except for the counterblasts, which are a little more precious in this build. 1 Shirabaku Buster. Now, I kind of have to be using Shirabaku Buster from the beginning to really get the full effect of his effect, especially since I waste soul very much. Even though I've got cards like these running around, it just doesn't do it. I don't have soul. Yeah. But basically, I choose a unit, copy it. It gets, if this unit is the first attack or more, it gets drive checks. I do like to do it with Hyakki or with Oniwaka, certainly Oniwaka, just so I can use his ability as well and give plus 6k as well as any triggers to my Hyakki on the rearguard slot. And returns to the bottom of the deck. Again, I only run 1 just because I don't need them very often. I do run 4 of Hyakki Vogue Nayuta. Nayuta is the triple rare second fighters collection for Murakumo, and it is really good. Its ability is choose one of your rear guards with Hyakki, which, by the way, you summon on Riding Vanguard. Search your deck and put it in the bottom of the deck. If you have a hard card with Hyakki, choose one of your units. Search your deck for a card name the same as that unit. So in other words, you don't even have to choose Hyakki. You can choose this guy, Oniwaka, Awako Hime, Oboro Keeper for some reason, or cards like your boosters or Manji Shooter. Just a whole bunch of different cards that you have that can, really get a benefit from it, or a Hyakki Vogue itself. And that unit that you called is returned to hand. It's just basically a free card in exchange for cards you didn't have or that you don't need that you'll get back later. Especially since Hyakki, as long as you have a card there, you can search for other Hyakkis. And then they hit for 21k in a deck that runs mostly crits and stands. I'm sorry, mostly crits and draws. Pretty good stuff. In this build, I would run 2 of Shishi Yuzuki. Zuki. When this is placed on G, choose opponent's rear guards, move it to the front. Plus 5k, search for a copy, put it in G, shuffle deck. I don't use it on my grade 3s, I use it on my grade 1s. Because my grade 1s are some of the least important in this deck if they are not in my hand. Especially something like Onifunda, which is a nice guard. So yeah, that's my Hyakki Vogue deck. Sorry, it's a little bit incomplete. I haven't had the triple rares and stuff that I've needed. Yeah, that's all there is to it. Been Wheeler Mercenary King. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Imagine you got us. Signing out.